If AfterSight podcasts are part of your week, donate today at aftersight.org/donate. AfterSight is a nonprofit, and your support keeps these programs on the air and expands access for people who are blind, have low vision, or need other access to print. Be the reason someone discovers AfterSight this week.
Hello, I'm Kim Wardlow. I am your host of Navigating Life with Vision Loss, brought to you by AfterSight. And we are in our series, a 16-week series on sports. And today I'm excited because, we're talking about skiing. And I just have to acknowledge that our ski season here in Colorado is ending early because it's so warm. But even if you are not able to ski this season, there will be next season. So I'm really happy to have Christine Holmberg from Foresight Adventure Guides for the Blind with me today. Welcome, Christine.
Thank you, Kim. Appreciate being here today.
Yeah, and so I know, I remember, years ago when Foresight, I think, first started, and it was Foresight Ski Guides, and so that was kind of your original focus. But I know that, and you still do that, but I know that now with your different name and you have summer programs and things too. So would you just tell our listeners a little bit about yourself, how you've ended up being the director of Foresight Adventure Guides for the Blind, and maybe a little bit about the organization and what it does now?
Sure. So Foresight Ski Guides started in 2001. And yes, the primary focus of Foresight was guiding blind and low vision skiers and snowboarders. And when I was hired 7 years ago, one of the things that I was hired to do was to launch a summer program. So we did accomplish that in 2021. And we've had 5 successful summer camps for blind youth. And we decided once we started the summer camps that we needed a name that was a little bit more inclusive than just ski guides, because we were doing more than ski guiding. And so that's when we just brainstormed a lot, probably before we started using AI, but brainstormed and came up with the name Foresight Adventure Guides for the Blind. So that way, if we want to expand into other activities in years to come, we have that flexibility because we're not pigeonholed as just skiers,
right?
Ski guides,
or winter sports.
Guides.
Yeah.
And that was part of it too. I mean, that was why we expanded the program, is because we wanted to provide options for youth that may not be interested in winter sports and give them a summer sport or a summer recreation opportunity. So that's really why the summer camps evolved, was just giving youth more opportunities than just in the winter.
Mm-hmm.
And then as far as my background is quite varied. Used to be a TV producer in California. When I first moved to the Vail Valley, I worked in hotel sales for quite a few years. And then I was a destination management account executive. So I have a lot of really varied, random experience, and really stumbled into Foresight. Met one of our senior guides at a ski swap event up here. They had a big poster with a job posting for Foresight. Talked to him a little bit about it, but they wanted adaptive experience. And I had never worked with individuals with vision loss or blindness previously. So I just sort of wrote it off. And then they had a job posting again 6 months later. And I'm like, what's going on? And then in October, they had the job posting again. And so lo and behold, some things aligned. And that same senior guide asked for my resume, sent it to the board, and here I am 7 years later. I started off just as program director, and I was just running all operations. And then our founder ended up retiring about 6 months after I started due to health concerns and so forth. And so the board asked, what would you like to do? And I thought about it and I said, well, I'll take over as executive director, but I don't really know what I'm doing. So as long as you will teach me and let me learn as I go, I'm happy to do it. So obviously it's worked out because it's been 7 years.
Yes.
And I'm still here.
You're still there. My story is similar to yours. It was never something I even knew was an option to be a director of an organization like ours. So, and volunteer, like very similar. And our director retired, and here I am. So,
yeah,
you just never
happened,
know.
Right?
Yep, you just never know.
Yeah.
Well, I know, as you said, and we may talk about it more later, the various things that you do. But for this show, we were focusing on if individuals who are blind or have low vision are interested in skiing or snowboarding, what that's like within your program, where you're located, how it works for a blind person to be able to ski.
Sure. So Foresight, we operate at Vail and Beaver Creek resorts, and we would not be able to do what we do without the unwavering support we've received from Vail Resorts and their Epic Promise Foundation. I mean, they truly, without them, we would probably cease to exist. I mean, they provide lift tickets. They provide access to the mountains, to both Vail and Beaver Creek. They provide lift tickets. They provide equipment. They provide adaptive instructors when we bring the kids up for the youth program. So they really are such a valuable partner for us. And on the flip side, they're happy to have us too, because we are providing that access to the mountain for individuals with blindness and low vision. So it's definitely a beautiful partnership that we've had since the beginning, since 2001. So very grateful for their support, for sure. So Vail and Beaver Creek is where we operate, and we have two programs. We have an adult guiding program, and then we have a youth learn to ski program. Okay. So the way the adult program works is adults who are technically legally blind, which is 2,200. They, if they have experience skiing, if they know how to ski, they can call us and request a guide to take them out for 1 day, 2 days, a week, however long they're planning to be in the area. We can just take them out and literally be their eyes on the mountain. We're the ones getting them safely down the ski runs. They do have to have a knowledge of skiing. We don't teach, but we can coach and offer tips and things, but we don't teach. That's where we would refer them either to Vail or Beaver Creek's adaptive program or one of the other adaptive programs around the state to learn. And then once they are fairly accomplished, then if they just want to go out skiing in Vail or Beaver Creek, call us. We're happy to take them out. The youth program, we work with school districts all up and down the Front Range, including Colorado School for the Deaf and the Blind. And that program, we bring students up to Vail for 2 days of skiing. And we partner with Vail's adaptive school. We hire professional adaptive instructors, and they will come in and teach the kids how to ski or snowboard. They have their option of doing one or the other. And we pay for their transportation up here. We bring them up with Epic Mountain Express. We provide all their equipment, their lift tickets, their 2 days of instruction, 1 night hotel, lunch both days, and they're only on their own for dinner that one night. So we do about 7 of those trips a year with various school districts, Denver Public Schools. We had Greeley up here this year, Weld County, Douglas County, oftentimes Jefferson County. So, and then CSDB, some other school districts down in Colorado Springs. So, really trying to get those kids up here to learn to ski, because the idea is if we get them when they're younger and they learn how to ski, then as they become adults, they can just call us and come up and ski because they already know how.
Right. Kind of building that pipeline of future clients.
Absolutely. Yeah. I tell them all the time. And we have kids that are very good skiers or snowboarders, and they will just come up. Like their parents will call and say, hey, we want to come up this weekend. Like we'll work with them all season, maybe on 2 or 3 different dates. They'll come up and we'll just take their child out like we would an adult because they know how to ski. And we've got one boy, he's about 12, I think now. And he just rips it, and he's all about vertical feet. Like if he's not skiing 30,000 vertical feet with us, and he's does not have vision in one eye. Like he only has one usable eye. And if he doesn't get his 30,000 vertical feet, he's a little cranky.
So you're really covering that whole gamut then with your partnership with Vail and the professional teachers that are actually teaching the skiing. You're able to work with the kids, but then clear through to folks that really you want to be on those black diamonds and the major mountain trails. Yeah.
We get great skiers. We have a former Paralympian who skis with us. We had 2 years in a row. I did not hear from them this year, but the last 2 years, we had a gentleman come up. His daughter lives down on the Front Range, brought him up, and he was here last year celebrating his 94th birthday.
Wow.
And we took him skiing. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
From 9 to 90 plus.
So we've been talking about guides. So maybe for folks that aren't as familiar skiing, or they haven't skied in an accessible program, maybe they've skied, but now they've lost vision and they are not familiar with skiing in a program like yours. Could you just describe a little bit about how having a guide works, or shadowing, or some of the things that are specific to a program like yours?
Sure. So the way Foresight operates is we always have 2 people who go out with every what we call VIPs, and that's a visually impaired participant. So we call all of our program participants VIPs. So we always have 2 individuals who will be with that VIP, the guide, and the guide is the one who will call out the commands that will safely direct them down the ski run. And then we have a shadow that will ski behind the VIP and the guide, and their head is constantly on a swivel, and they're trying to make sure that nobody skis in between our little team of people heading down the hill. Mm-hmm. And they try to get people to give us that space to avoid any unfortunate incidents. So the guide and the shadow, those are the 2 people that always go out. And depending on a VIP's vision loss, the guide will be in different positions. If an individual has some vision and can see and sometimes it may just be the tunnel vision or peripheral vision, but if they've got some vision, they may choose to follow the guide down the hill. And so they'll just follow right behind the guide and do the exact same thing that they do. If an individual is totally blind, then they are in front and we are behind them, calling out those verbal cues as far as right turn, left turn, hold, stay the course, stop. They would be giving very basic commands as they're heading down the ski run.
And are those just regular voice, or do they have a helmet, is there a microphone and, some type of earbuds or headphones or something to be sure commands are heard?
We do both. We always, until the last couple of years, it was just your voice.
Yeah.
But we now use headsets with some individuals, especially those who can't hear. We definitely want to make sure that everybody's wearing a headset. You can always pause it or mute it if you need to, but we are very concerned about safety. We want to make sure that every time we're out on the hill that our VIP is safe and that our volunteer guides and shadows are safe. So using the headsets is definitely a way to make sure that people can communicate with each other if it's stormy or windy or they're blowing snow or you've got a lot of people around you. It's a great way to communicate. But again, if somebody can see, they may not want to wear the headsets because if they've got pretty decent vision and they can follow, they're like, I don't need them.
Right.
So we're not going to force people to do it at this point. We might get there, but at this point, we want to make sure people are comfortable.
What do you see in participants? I'm just thinking, I know for us, serving people of all ages, but you do see more vision loss as people age and get older. So obviously there are people who have skied maybe since childhood and may be very good skiers, but when they lose their vision, now they're not sure if they can ski anymore. What do you see as people come in that might be the biggest fear or barriers to thinking they can, continue to ski after they've lost vision?
It's interesting. It seems that the older people get, the less confident they are in their ability to continue skiing.
Mm-hmm.
Like we had a couple guys up here a couple weeks ago, and one of the guys lost his vision in a high school graduation accident, I believe is what that was. And he had been an awesome snowboarder and hadn't been snowboarding in 20 years. And I think there's just this fear of like, I'm not going to be able to do it. I'm not going to be able to see where I'm going. What if I run into somebody? There are definitely those concerns with those who have had vision at one point and now no longer have vision. And almost more so like with people who have gradually lost their vision, they just feel like, well, I guess I can't do that anymore. I can't do this. I can't do that. And if we can convince them to give it a try, they're typically quite surprised that they're able to do it. And it's quite transformational for them. I mean, I had a gentleman who's, I think this was his third year with us, tell me earlier, he was here in January and we were talking and he said, I haven't skied for 25 years. And then I found Foresight and I have my life back. Like, I didn't think that I could do this, but I can. And he has some vision, but for 25 years, he gave that up. And I should have asked him, like, what prompted you to give it a try?
Right.
But, that's what we do. I mean, that's what makes our program so amazing for adults is that as we age, like you said, many of us do tend to lose our vision and we think that our life is coming to an end. Like I can't bike, I can't run, I can't ski, I can't do all these things, but they actually can.
It's
and
just learning those adaptive techniques or being willing to accept that assistance.
Yeah. Absolutely. And believing in yourself and trusting your guide, because there really is a lot of trust that has to happen between the guide and the VIP, because especially when you're totally blind, because you are putting your safety into somebody else's hand and you have to trust that that person is going to get you safely down the hill. And so they've got to build that trust pretty quickly. And it's beautiful to watch. I mean, I can't even think of a time where it didn't really happen. It just seems like that trust is built so quickly and they are able to just go out there and live life again. I mean, we have a former Navy pilot who's been losing his vision for quite some time. And same thing. He's like, I thought my life was over. I didn't think I could run. I didn't think I could bike. I didn't think I could ski. And then he found us, came out about 5 years ago, I think was the first time he came out. And same thing. And he is a great skier, great skier. So, I mean, there are people up here that I run into that are like, oh, I've heard of your program. Yeah, I stopped skiing because my vision is so bad. I'm like, call us.
Yeah.
Why aren't you calling us? And it's, I don't know why they're not calling us. We're trying to let people know we're here. Like my whole thing is just give us a chance. Like come out for one afternoon or one morning, give one day, just give us one chance and see if it makes a difference. And I can almost guarantee that they will be hooked.
Yeah.
Absolutely hooked.
What does that process look like when you have somebody in that situation? They know how to ski. They may have been a really good skier and now they're just hesitant because of their vision loss, to start building that trust. You start on an easier slope, or is there a process or a specific technique that you all use to try to build that trust pretty quickly, or does it just depend on the person?
A lot of it is in the lodge before we even head out. There's just conversation, starting to get to know each other. What are your likes? What are your dislikes? And just trying to build a social connection first We will then do an assessment of somebody's sight to see what their vision actually is. Can you see, they'll stand 30 feet away. Can you see me here? They'll step closer. They'll step to the right. They'll step to the left. So they'll do an assessment of their vision. And then once we head out on snow, we'll go out and we'll do one of the beginner chairs and just see how they ski. And we'll talk to them about how they've skied in the past and what that has looked like for them in the past. And then we'll do 1 or 2 runs on the bunny slope. And then as everyone feels more comfortable with each other, then they'll head up the mountain and go to the next run that makes the most sense and where the conditions are going to be the best for that person's ability level.
It just seems like it would be such a confidence booster to be able to get back out on the slopes if you had stopped skiing and to really realize that you could still do something you loved. And I know my coworker Penn, who you also know, she just talks about the sheer freedom she feels when she's going down a mountain. And I know she likes to ski fast. So
yeah, she's an amazing skier also. I've not skied with her, but I've seen video when she's been out skiing with us. Confidence is huge, and that's one of the main, I don't know what it's called, character trait. I mean, I don't know if it's a character trait, but I mean that skills that we develop, that skiing with Foresight develops for individuals who no longer can see or have diminished vision. I mean, the confidence that they develop as they get better and better, it's incredible to watch, especially with the kids as you watch them like the first time they're out, and then maybe even by the end of the second day or the following year or the following year after that, seeing how they've grown and how they feel more confident. They're willing to try anything because in their minds, if they can get down a ski hill, when they can't see and they're going really fast, if they can make it down that, they can do anything. And I've had them tell me that. I mean, I had a high school girl. She's like, "Oh, I went rock climbing or ice climbing, and
oh wow,
and I tried this and that, and that's all because of learning to ski with Foresight." And that's beautiful. That is so beautiful to hear. We have a girl who lives way out in eastern Colorado, and her mom, she started skiing with us, I think 3 years ago. And her mom was telling me, "Oh yeah, she's going to do this 4-H program in Glenwood. She signed up for it all by herself. She's like taking the bus." It was something, but she's like, she never would have done that before you guys. But going out with Foresight, learning to ski, that gave her the confidence to try other activities and other experiences, other adventures that will just make her a more well-rounded person and provide a better quality of life. And that's all we're trying to do. We're just trying to build confidence and let people experience freedom and independence that they don't often get to experience because of not having vision, not being able to see things or do things. And that's one of the other things that some of the other feedback that we get is the freedom they feel just like whipping down a hill, and they all love to free ski. And if we can let them free ski, we will do that. And that is simply the guide. Like it's on a slope where there's typically nobody else on the slope. And the guide will say, "Okay, you've got, I don't know if they say exactly what the distance is, but if you stay center, you have time to maybe go left." And I don't know. I actually don't know exactly what terminology, but they will let them ski down the hill free. They will give them some tips on what to do. And then we just follow them and let them go. And they're just doing it and they're just feeling it and they love it. I mean, they talk about, "Oh my gosh, I love the free skiing. It made me feel so independent."
Yes. I was going to say that's a huge amount of independence when you can just go.
Yes, it is. It is. And they don't get to experience that, or the speed. That sense of speed is also something that they really enjoy because they don't experience that a lot.
Yeah. If a person, I mean, other than a child, which you have the programs that you coordinate – 'for children to learn. But if an adult person Well, maybe they skied a bit. Maybe they haven't skied at all. Uh, it's interesting to me. Sometimes I have met people that there's something that they have never done before, and they've lost their vision, but they think, yeah, I want to do that. And even though it's not something they did as when they had their sight, so almost kind of the opposite of like, well, maybe I'll try this. What are some of the programs that people might check into if they're interested in adaptive skiing, but they need to learn to ski?
There are so many adaptive programs in Colorado. We are so blessed to have so many programs so close to the metro area and located literally throughout the state. I mean, from Steamboat, they've got an amazing program up there called STARS. So that would be a place where they could learn to ski. There's the National Sports Center for the Disabled in Winter Park. People can learn to ski there. You've got Breckenridge Outdoor Education Center in Breckenridge. They are, and some of like those three nonprofits, as well as the Adaptive Sports Center and Crested Butte, they are all like an extension of those resorts where they teach individuals how to ski with varying special needs, not just vision loss. Vail and Beaver Creek, we've got adaptive ski schools at our resorts, but at those other resorts and Ignite at Eldora, they are the adaptive program. They're nonprofits, but they are the adaptive program for that resort. So lots of options in Colorado for individuals who want to learn how to ski. There's also a couple years ago, we did a couple of outreach events down on the Front Range. We did one in Centennial and one in Thornton at an indoor ski area called Snowbon. And so we had people that ski with us that came to this, and they've just got an indoor slope. It's not very long. And you can go up there and you can try to learn to ski.
Oh, wow.
And that's like a lot of people with sight obviously can do that. When I was down there researching it a couple years ago, the guy I was speaking with told the man, I think the general manager was telling me that the University of Denver, their ski team went in one day for a 30-minute lesson, and the athletes were so sore afterwards because it's a different experience than actually being on the snow, but it gives you that same experience, and so you can learn how to ski. So we were recommending people like go to Snowbond, get experience there before you come up, because it's very affordable to do that. To go to Snowbond, it's a very affordable option to start learning how to ski. So it was like, go there a couple times, see if you get the feeling. And then if you like it, then maybe do one of these other programs,
Right.
and then really learn how to ski on the snow. And then once you've got a good base, then call us and then we'll just take you out and ski.
Yeah. Well, and you mentioned the cost, and I realize you're not going to know the cost for all of these other programs, but for your program, what costs are involved if someone wants to participate?
So my understanding is that we are the lowest in the state, and up until last year, we didn't even charge at all. It was strictly on donations. We now charge for the adults only a $150 daily participation fee. And that includes all the coordination of the ski trip day or week or however long they're going to be there, all their coordination. That will provide a lift ticket, equipment rental, if they need shuttle transportation from either Denver International Airport or Eagle Regional Airport, that will include shuttle transportation. And so and your guide and shadow. So it's a pretty affordable way to just get up on the mountain, have a beautiful experience, a beautiful day out on the snow. And so we are definitely one of the, if not the most affordable, one of the most affordable options out there. And for individuals who do want to learn to ski up here in Vail or at Beaver Creek, there is a nonprofit up here called Access Unbound, and they will provide financial assistance for individuals to use the ski and snowboard schools to learn how to ski. There is an application process that you have to complete, but they will provide some financial scholarship support to help offset the cost of learning to ski up in this area.
Oh, great. Well, that's great information. Excuse me, for folks to know that just skiing can be quite expensive. So if you're adding in, the extra thinking, oh, well, I need a guide and I need a shadow and all those things, but that really still can be very affordable. And I know we have people, we're Colorado based, but I know we have people that listen to the podcast outside of Colorado too. So folks can come from other states, other places, and still participate in your programs. It's not just for Colorado residents.
No, definitely not. We have people from all over that come. I mean, we've got several people from Florida that come out. We've got, we had a guy here, or a gentleman here last week. He and his wife were here. They live in Ohio. We had a gentleman from the UK that was here in January. The second person from the UK since I've been here that has come out to ski. And so, yeah, I mean, if anybody who's coming to Colorado on a ski trip and needs assistance, I mean, somebody who knows how to ski, they just happen to be blind or have low vision, and they just need assistance on the mountain, call us. Like, we would love to take them out. It gives our guides as much, if not more, joy getting somebody with vision loss out on the mountain. It gives us as much joy or more than it does them. And our volunteers are amazing. Many of them have been here for a long time, like decades, some since the very beginning. I mean, I've got a couple that have been here since the very beginning in 2001. And they love it. They get such satisfaction out of watching their VIP enjoy themselves. So I mean, if you're coming out here, we've had people from California, I mean, all over, and plus the Front Range. We've got regulars that come up from Denver. That will ski, and they'll take the Mustang. So it's a really easy way to get up here is to take the Mustang. It drops off at the Vail Transportation Center. We can meet you there, get you over to Golden Peak, which is where we're based. There's also an Avon Transportation Center. We can meet there if they want to ski Beaver Creek. So, the transportation from Denver up here is actually quite easy and really affordable. I mean, I think it's like $11 or something like that to take the Mustang up here.
Well, and I think that's just a great reminder, because I know there are families that's a tradition. They take a family ski vacation every year, every couple years, and that you don't have to give that up, or you don't have to just go along but not ski. Like, you can, if you've lost your vision, you can still fully participate in that by using Foresight. So, yeah,
absolutely. We have a guy, he was up here at the beginning of February, I think. Gosh, it's already the end of March. The beginning of February, he was up here, and he started skiing with Foresight when he was like 12 or 13, because just like you said, he would come out on a family vacation and he wanted to be able to keep up with his brothers. So we started taking him out, and we've taken him out ever since. And he was here after he left in February. He emailed me and said, how do I get involved with Paralympics? I want to try to ski for the ski Paralympics.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So I gave him a couple resources, and he's already been in contact with some folks and is going to start that journey, I guess. And I mean, how incredible
that is. That's exciting.
Yeah. I mean, it's possible. It's absolutely possible. And we want to make that happen as much as we can. We've got little kids that are like the one boy I told you about that wants to ski 30,000 every day. Last year, when he was here, he was like, I want to learn how to slalom ski. And I was like, okay, well, let me know. And if that's what you want to do, we can try to get you an instructor when you're up here with your school group, and you can start learning how to slalom ski. I mean, why not? The opportunities are endless. There's nothing that should hold people back.
Well, Christine, this has just been such a great conversation, and I appreciate you sharing all your resources and the stories. I think those are always the most fun part of the interview. I know that we mentioned, some of your camps and things, and actually, I just want to mention that AfterSight and Foresight will be collaborating on a warm weather activity the end of May. I don't know if you want to share a little bit more about that coming up at Cherry Creek State Park.
Sure, yeah. On May 30th, Saturday, May 30th, Foresight and AfterSight are partnering on a fundraising walk at Cherry Creek State Park. And so we hope as many people as possible can join us. We hope it's going to be a beautiful sunny day without too much wind. And yeah, we're just looking to get people outside. We'll have some food available. There may be some live music happening, and just a great way to support both of our organizations and what we are both doing to try to provide access, whatever that looks like, to individuals who are blind or have low vision. And we're hoping that registration will be live shortly, maybe by the end of this week. We're hoping that is going to be available so people can start registering. But yeah, we would love walkers. We would love sponsors to help support the walk. And but ultimately, we just want to get out there and have a great day and build community. We're all about building community, and that's one of the things that we learned when we did our summer program. Is we really started building a Foresight community because the kids had more time to spend together, and so that's something that we're trying to now build upon and do more of. And partnering with AfterSight is the next step in trying to build that community and just expand the community that we have.
Well, we are really excited to partner with you and to work with you on that. And then I know we're both looking at partnering with No Barriers in the fall, our annual hike, but it's going to be the 3 orgs this year, having our hike in September. So, come and walk and start to get going and in shape so that by September, you'll want to come up to Winter Park and hike with us. That'd be great.
That would be great. Yeah. We're walking, we're hiking, we're doing it all. We're biking.
That's right. There's so much that is possible. And that's really the message we just want to share with all of you listening, is that there's so many opportunities. There's so much available, just depending what you want to do. You don't have to do it all. You could learn to ski and enjoy skiing and never, touch a black run. It's okay. You don't have to do anything extreme, but if you're interested in skiing, you might have to learn on the indoor slope this year, but come next winter, hopefully, if that's of interest to you, you can contact Foresight or if you need to learn, one of the other organizations they mentioned, and get out on the slopes. It's always beautiful and fun.
Yeah. And give us a call. We would love to be out. Our guides love to ski. So the more we can get them out there, the better. What
is the best way to find Foresight and contact you to be able to either ask questions or to schedule?
Sure. Our website is a great resource for basic information about our program, and that would be foresightskiguides.org. And it's also Foresight Adventure Guides for the Blind.org. That will direct you to the Foresight Ski Guides. But so they're the same site. You can call me 303-506-3859. Always happy to talk to people. Or you can email Christine@foresightskiguides.org.
Great. Well, Christine, thank you so much for joining us today.
You are welcome. Thank you for having me on. I love, and I can talk about Foresight all the time, all day long. So thank you for having us. And I look forward to May, and I look forward to next season, and hopefully welcoming a bunch of your listeners up to Vail or Beaver Creek for some fun on the slopes.
That is great. And for all of you out there, thank you for listening. We'll be continuing on with our sports series looking at different types of sports and different levels of activities. So as always, we hope the information we shared with you today helps you navigate your life with vision loss.
If AfterSight podcasts are part of your week, donate today at aftersight.org/donate. AfterSight is a nonprofit, and your support keeps these programs on the air and expands access for people who are blind, have low vision, or need other access to print. Be the reason someone discovers AfterSight this week.